There I am. I can see myself on Facebook, which means I am live. I also hope that I am live on my YouTube channel. Hello, everyone. My name is Erica. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator living on the West Coast of Canada, and I welcome you to my Facebook Live, where I am going to show you what casing a catalog is all about. And I'm hoping I have time to do 2 cards tonight. They look fairly simple, but you never know once you get started how simple they're going to be. And so I'm using a set called, it's actually a whole suite of products called the Celebratory Sip Sweet Collection. So it has lots of things in it. I'm going to turn my camera down right now so I can start showing you what the products are. And I want to welcome anybody who is new to my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. Welcome. I hope you love crafting as much as I do. And you might be working on some of your own projects as you watch me, or you might just want to sit back and relax with a glass of something while you watch. I have one person who's come on to say hello. Christine, hello. How are you doing? All right, so let's bring my desktop to the foreground so you can see what I'm up to. All right, so this is the Celebratory Sip Sweet Collection. Now, as I've been saying for quite some time now, Stampin' Up! Has been very famous for their beautiful catalogs. They produce 3 catalogs a year, an annual catalog that goes all the way a full year. Then they have a holiday catalog, which is coming up soon. For the September to December season, all the holiday season. And then they'll come out with a spring catalog with things like Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter, and fun stuff like that. Then they also have what are called online exclusives. These are products that they develop throughout the year, and then they decide to just release them so that you can get more things to look at and more things to play with. So it's lots of fun, but you just have to go online to see the products and to see the samples that are there. So now with Case the Caddy, I've had to evolve that to not only just be reproducing samples from the catalogs, I'm also reproducing samples from online. So what I do is I create a sample sheet. So the designers at Stampin' Up, just like they do for the catalog, they produce some samples, but you only see them online, and then I go ahead and copy them and put them into this little flyer so that when it comes time for me to case something, I have it here for you to see. Okay, so tonight I'm hoping to make these 2 cards. I made, for another Case the Caddy, I made this card here, and it turned out to be a beautiful card. It was lots of fun to make. I've got it right here to show you. So it uses some of our new in colors. So this was a lot of fun to make. So we've got 2 tall drinks, and we were using one of the embossing folders and the beautiful papers. Yeah, it was really a lot of fun to make. So that was the one card that I made. So tonight we're going to try and make 2 more cards. Let's see how we go. Okay, so we're going to make this one to start with. This is kind of a really fairly simple looking card, but it's just a cheery card. It says cheers to us. It's a nice card to give to somebody to celebrate something that you share together. It could be a friendship, or you could share a birthday, I don't know. Or it could be for your spouse. It could be cheers to us for an anniversary. And then we've got another card that says, cheers, let's celebrate. Okay, so let me show you the beautiful papers to start with. So I've already started to cut into them. So tonight we're going to be using this sheet and this sheet. So what's fun about this sheet is that in the die set, there is the short little kind of a wine glass shaped glass. It actually goes like this, and then there's a taller glass, and you actually just cut them out of this paper, so that saves you doing any of your own watercoloring to produce the color of a drink. Now these colors definitely remind me of like sangrias or what are those other drinks called? Berry spritzes, or like this orange one reminds me of an Aperol spritz. And Bellinis, that was the other drink I was thinking of, Bellinis. All of these berry colored could be for Bellinis. So the stamp set also has those images, so you can stamp them on their own and then cut them out, or you can stamp them right onto these pieces here and then cut them out. And then with drinks, we've got some fruits. We've got strawberry. We've got a blackberry here. We've got an olive, a cherry. We've got some mint, I think that might be celery leaves. And you've got a sprig of lavender and a sprig maybe of rosemary. You've got some ice cubes, and you have a cute little umbrella, paper umbrella that you put on a drink with some greetings. So it's kind of a fun set to play with, lots that you can do with it. Okay, so the papers here, so we're going to use this sheet here. This is that beautiful new Timid Tiger on one of the cards, and then the reverse side. Look how gorgeous. I love this. I love this. Look at all the colors in that, and that is showing on the second card. So you've got these, and then on here, this kind of represents cut glass. There are two what I call skinny embossing folders that come with this set. And these help you produce the etchings on your glass. This rose one was a bit confusing, I think, for a lot of people, because I don't know, I've never seen a etched glass with roses on, but it's a beautiful embossing folder for sure. And I did use it on this other card that I made. It's the background piece here, just to add some texture. It's a beautiful embossing folder, but the other one is definitely looks like etched glass. So crystal glasses often have kind of like the top half of the glass has some glass etching on it. So that's what that embossing folder allows you to do. Then you've got some beautiful little iridescent bubbles. They could be bubbles in your drink, like if you love Prosecco. I love Prosecco. Okay, and then, excuse me, you've got this paper. This is kind of a really dark, this is Secret Sea, the color Secret Sea. And then look how pretty this paper is, just gorgeous. Papers that have small florally or fruity patterns on them really lend themselves beautifully to making gift bags. So here you've got all of the elements in drinks. You've got lime wedges, you've got lemon, you've got your orange zest there, and you've got all of your herbs there. You've got your fruit. They're very pretty. Then we have this one. This is, I think, Blackberry Bliss. And then you've got these drinks here. Now, you could easily, there's, I think these dies will cut these out as well, but they're going to cut off the sprigs at the top. So I would just fussy cut. Okay, you could cut this one out and this one out. Any of the glasses without sprigs sticking out, you can use the dies for. But anything that already has the sprigs in it, I would just fussy cut those. So very pretty. And then I think the patterns start repeat, although we're going to use this sheet here is for the other card, I noticed. And look at this. This is stunning. Look at those colors together. This looks like Mossy Meadow. Well, it actually looks like Granny Apple Green and Mossy Meadow with Blackberry Bliss. So pretty, so pretty. And then you've got this striping piece on the back. And then you've got this piece has, yeah, some more of these little mini drinks now. Now you could fussy cut these out as well, a lot more work, but look at this beautiful sangria glass. It's gorgeous. These papers are gorgeous, but it would make a nice background on a card for sure. Now they've got bottles of stuff on here too. I'm not sure what they are. You've got wine, white wine and red wine. And maybe some bitters. This could be your Aperol spritz. Aperol. Yeah, kind of fun. The papers are gorgeous. Okay, let's get started making our card. Hi, Gina. How are you? How are things in Alberta? we've had wind. Oh my gosh, all day is windy. It's been windy. We can't even eat outside. It's so windy. It's terrible. I don't know where the wind's coming from, but and then it dies down at night. Like it's already starting to die down. And I love a windy night. I love lying in bed I have a window right next to my bed, and I usually have it wide open all year round. And I love when the wind blows right on my face. I just love that. Okay, let's get started. Now, I'm going to start off with the white card base. And I'm going to, let me just pull my picture in front of me here. Okay, so white card base, and I'm going to cut a piece of the Timid Tiger striped pattern, this one here. And I'm going to do a regular 4 by 5 1/4 inch. I want a little bit of white showing around the outside. And when you're cutting your paper, again, I always give you this reminder, just check for directional patterns because you don't want to cut it in the wrong direction, depending on whether you're doing a portrait or a landscape card. So I'm going to do 4 by 5 1/4 will be my very first layer. Okay, now when I am looking at, when I'm designing a card, and it's really useful for when you're, casing something and you see dimensions, you don't know what they are, you can guess. But I always like to pull out my little templates that I have for different sizes. So I created this years ago. I've shown this to you guys before, but I start with the card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then these are all the layers that you can put on top of it. So 4 by 5 1/4 is that typical layer, which is what I've just cut this at, and then they keep going. So when I look at this piece, I want to put a piece on top of this. Now, rather than do maybe the next one down, 3 3/4 by 5, let's just see what kind of a border I get on here. Not very much of a border according to the casing picture. So I'm going to go down even a little bit lower. So maybe 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Yeah, that gives me a wider border. So I know to cut my next piece of white. Looks like it's white, 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So this is really handy. You can comment and let me know if you've made something like that, because I've shown that for years. And I would just be interested to know whether you have made one for yourself and if you find it handy. Okay. Let me grab some paper here. Now, I've been cutting paper with my guillotine, and it's not cutting very well. It's leaving a bit of a, I don't know if you can see that. I just need to move over. Let's pull my camera over a little bit more. So it's my guillotine cutter, and it's leaving a frayed edge here on the side. So I'm just going to trim that. Actually, I'm going to trim it. I find when I want the tiniest little sliver, I like using my mini guillotine here. So I'm just going to lop that little tiny bit off there. There we go. I don't know how to, if I can take it in somewhere, place where they sharpen knives. I think I need that blade sharpened. Okay, so we're making this 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Okay. So this is going to go on top like that. Now I'm going to look at this picture a little bit closer just to see if there's any embossing. You could emboss this piece on the back, but it doesn't look like there's any embossing on there at all, because they've also got a, I'm using the Stylish Shapes dies, and I'm going to cut a circle, I think the largest circle. No, I'm going to go down a circle, I think. Actually, before I do the circle, let's stamp and die cut the glasses, because then we'll know well, actually, if I pull these two out, I'll be able to tell. I want to know how wide the circle should be. So I like to plan out my card in advance. I think it's going to need the big circle. Yeah, it's going to need the big circle. Okay. So we figured that out. Now, let me grab this sheet. Now, it's kind of too bad the stamp set did not include a fill piece to fill in. I mean, you could color it, but or you could do your own watercoloring, I suppose, but I'm just going to rely on doing these. Now, in order to access these, I'm going to have to cut these down. So I can't, I'm going to go in between. So I'm going to cut so we're going to have a pale pinky one, and I need a bit of a purpley one. So let's cut a strip over here. Okay. So isn't that convenient? So you don't have to do any of your own watercoloring. Okay, so I've got those. All right, so this is going to be the purple one. Now, I don't want the glass totally filled, so I'm going to pick this one down here, and I'm going to cut this out. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape on here. So let's die cut that out. So look how sweet that is. And then let's die cut this one. And this is going to be kind of a pale, kind of a strawberry looking thing. So voila, we've got two nice summery drinks. How fun is that? All right, now we're going to do some stamping, because on this one, we've got these little blackberries. So I'm going to use Berry Burst color. Now, what I forgot to do, I didn't do it, but in the photo here, these were stamped first on this background, and then they were die cut. Now, I don't know if I can stamp them now. I did have them out ready to go. Let's just see if I can stamp it. Let's put this on my silicone. No, I don't have. Let's see. Where's my silicone mat? I'm going to have a dark background so I can see. Should have stamped it first, but I forgot. Well, that worked. Look at that. So I'm going to stamp that one, and then I'm going to pull out Strawberry Slush. That's my other color I chose. And let's do this tall glass. So that's good to know that we can stamp it afterwards. Okay. All right, now we want this little blackberry. I'm going to do this in Berry Burst. We've just got three little blackberries in our glass. Look how sweet those are. Okay, and we're going to do strawberries in this glass. Oh, you're lucky to be getting rain. We're getting winds, but no rain, and we desperately need some rain. Yeah, I'm getting tired of cold weather. We're not having the best summer. Okay, so I'm going to just going to overlap them a little bit and stamp off. There we go. Okay, so I've got my 2 summer drinks ready to go. So ladies, tell me, what's your favorite drink to have on a hot summer day? All right, so I need my my basic white card base. Where did that go to? There's my Berry Burst card base. I am the worst at keeping track of stuff on my desk. What about you guys? Are you really tidy crafters? There's my card base right here. All right, so we've got our card base. I'm going to glue this onto here. So I'm going to use, what a shame to cover this up, but it's got to be done. I went for lunch with my daughter over the weekend downtown, and we sat on an outdoor patio and had a lovely lunch together, and we each had a peach Bellini, and they were real slices of peaches in it, in the drink. It was yummy. But I do enjoy an Aperol Spritz, and I do enjoy other kind of fruity drinks, as long as there's not too much sugar in them. Sometimes there's too much sugar. All right, so this is this layer. So this was 3.5 by 4 3/4. Okay, and then we are going to now cut our circle. Now I can cut the circle out of Timid Tiger which is this really dark. It's different than pumpkin pie, but I think I'm going to do, no, I thought I brought over some. Yes, I did. This is peach pie. I think I want to do peach pie. So the stripes in this paper, so I think this is Timid Tiger with the peach striping. So I am going to, yeah, I don't want the dark Timid Tiger on there. So let me just die cut this circle out. Oh, this is a beautiful color. Okay, so we've got this in here. Okay, so let's glue this on as well. Now you could emboss this piece if you want. And this is pretty well centered. Okay, then we've got this background circle in here. And then this drink is going to go here like this. And then this drink is going to overlap it like this, like this. Okay. And then we have to do the greeting. I'm grabbing a strip of, and I mounted the two stamps together on one block. Cheers to us. And this is done in the peach pie. Let me see. I hope they're not too far apart. They might be, though. Cheers to us. They're a little bit too far apart. I'm going to take the two us off and do it separate. Cheers. To us. There we go. Okay, and let's trim this down. I'm going to chop it, say here, and then I'm going to chop it that's too close. Chop it there. Okay. And that I will probably put up on dimensionals, I think. All right, now we have to glue on these elements. And we still have to do the umbrella. So I'm going to grab the umbrella stamp. Is here. And this is done in Berry Burst. And then I've brought out my alcohol markers to color it. So I need to grab another piece of scrap paper. Okay. Now I'm just curious, in the dies, is there a stem? Yes, there is, because there's a stem for the umbrella. So I'm going to just die cut this out of. Now I didn't bring over any other paper, so I'm going to die cut this out of white and then I'll color it. Okay, so let's just color. Gina, you love a gin and tonic. I do too. I love a good gin and tonic. That's a good drink. And Christine, pina colada or strawberry daiquiri, and nope, messy as all heck. Yeah. Yeah, I think most crafters are pretty messy. Yeah, pina colada, when I was in my 20s, and I used to go, I lived in Montreal, of course, and I used to go to the Caribbean a lot for vacations. That was really and truly my go-to drink. I liked the sweeter drinks when I was younger. And I just loved a good pina colada. Don't get me wrong, I had my fair share of strawberry daiquiris as well. But those were my, pina colada was my go-to. And in those days, I was pretty skinny, so I didn't really care how much cream was in there at the time. But they were pretty fattening, I would think. I bet they used, in those days, I'll bet they used full fat coconut. Okay, let's just use the dark and put some shading in here. Okay. All right, so we're going to die cut this out. There's a cute little umbrella, die cut or die. Okay. And then I'm going to just take the, this is really those little, you know, those little bamboo skewers that they use? They have a little curly end. So they, you know, they thread the fruit on there, on these little skewers. Okay, let's die cut these out. Okay, so here's our little umbrella. I take your pick tool, get this out of here. Oh, there we go. So this is typically, yeah, bamboo. So I should color it in bamboo, but I'm going to do the pink. Now this top part's going to get hidden anyway. I'm just going to do a little bit of the stem. That's all I need. Okay, now I'm going to glue the umbrella on top of this. Okay, so I'm just going to stick a little bit of glue on here. And glue my umbrella on top. Okay, now I think we're ready to assemble. So there's my greeting. There's my umbrella. Okay, so we're going to glue this on. I'll just use my tape run. This is running out. Almost. Okay, I think this is pretty well centered. All right, there's our circle. All right, now we're going to glue this on, but I'm not going to glue at the top because I want to stick this umbrella in here. So let's just put a little bit of glue on here. Okay, and I think I'll put the, I'll put a little dimensional, just so the umbrella kind of lifts up a little bit. Let's grab a dimensional, put that on there. I might put a couple more. Let's put one here, and okay, this is pretty well out of little dimensionals. Take the tops off. Oh, I stuck it right in that glue on my mat. That was silly. Ugh. Look at that. I got glue all over that. Silly. So I'm just going to grab my glue eraser and see if I can lift that off there. That was really silly of me. Oh my gosh, it's really sticky, you guys. Now I'm eating into my time to do my second card. But we have to get this glue off. Okay, I think I've done it. All right, so I'm going to tuck this behind the glass. And it's tilted a little bit. Like that. There's a little bit of sticky on there, but which will make it stick in the envelope. So I'm going to have to get it off, but I'll play with it a little bit later. I might just put some powder on top of that. Okay, now we've got our second little glass, and this is going to come over here like this. And yeah, let's just glue that. We'll just use my Tombow now. We'll switch adhesives. Okay, and this is going to be a little bit higher and like that. Okay, and then we have our cheers. I don't know, I kind of think I need some little sparkles on here or something. Cheers to us. There you go. There's the card as it is cased in the catalog. But I think we should add some of these Look how pretty these are. I think we'll add just a couple of these on here. I think it needs something. I don't know if the camera can pick these up, but these are absolutely amazing. They are holographic. They've got greens and peaches in it, which is kind of perfect. Okay, so let's grab the other end of this. Yeah, so we'll just put a few of these on here. There we go. Yeah, I think that helps. What do you guys think? Really pretty. Love that. You could add a bit of Wink of Stella. I think I'm going to add some Wink of Stella on here just to show that the glass is, you know, cold. So I'll do a bit of condensation on the glass. I'll just kind of go down one side. Now you probably can't see this in the camera, but it's there. I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not. Is that pretty? I love the color combinations. Love it, love it, love it. All right, that's what time are we? Where are we at with time? Where's my little clock? Oh, we've got 20 minutes. Okay, let's do card number 2 now. Okay, card number 2, we start with a Berry Burst card base. Let's get that glue off this mat so I don't have another faux pas. So here's the card base. Let's get rid of these silly little backings. Put my glue eraser away. Let's do a little tidy. Okay. All right, so second card, I'll just show you the picture again, is this one. Very, very simple. And this is where the my little card, sample size card will come in handy because we want to work out how big this piece is here. So I'm going to use this beautiful paper here. So on my card base, it is definitely not a traditional layer. So I'm thinking it might be, again, 3.5 by, no, it's even smaller. Look at that. So instead of 3.5 by 4 3/4, let's flip the next card over. It's 3.25 by 4.5. Let's have a look at that. I think it's even smaller. Let's go to 3 by 4 1/4. Yes, 3 by 4 1/4. I think will work. So 3 by 4 1/4. Let me grab my trimmer. So I'm going to go 3 by 4 1/4. So let me think about this. 3. I'm going to do 3 first because then I get a long strip that I can use on another card or inside the card. So I'm going to go 3 by 4 3/4. No, 3 by 4 1/4. 4 1/4. 4 1/4. Okay. So this is going to go on here, and it's kind of a little bit crooked. I'm going to do it crooked anyway. Okay, so we've got those pieces. And then there's a piece that goes across here. So it's a smaller piece. So I'm going to go down further here. Let's see, 2 3/4 by 4. No, even smaller. See how handy these are? They're really handy. 2.5 by 3 3/4. It's just a piece of green in the background. 2.5 by 3 3/4. But let's see, 2.5 by 3 3/4. And then how big is that other piece? It's got to be, no, I'm going to make the white piece on top. I'm going to do 2.5 by 3 3/4 first. Let's do that first. So 2.5 by 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 by 2.5. Wait a minute, that's not right. 3 3/4, 2.5. That looks really small. Nope, that's going to be good. So 2.5 by 3 3/4. And the next piece, I think I'll do 2 3/4 by 4. And that's a piece of the green. That green color. This piece right here. Now this is directional, you see? So I want to cut it like that. So again, I'm just going to start with I need 4 inches anyway. So let's go 4. You're on your second pack of this paper, Gina? Wow. Yeah, I haven't been using this much yet. Okay, that's 4 and then 2 3/4 I want. The paper I'm really enjoying, and I've been making quite a few cards, is the pear set. And I might have to get a second pack of paper of that one. So 2 3/4 is what I want here. But boy, if you were having a summer barbecue and you had time to send out invitations, this paper is just perfect. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to skew it a bit. There you go. Okay. So we're going to do some stamping on here. So we're going to be stamping. Okay, I need my cheers again. And I need my cleaning mat. So this is Cheers, Let's Celebrate. So Cheers is in Berry Burst, or maybe Strawberry Slush. I think it was Strawberry Slush. So let's do Cheers right here. Okay, and then we want another stamp. Cheers, Let's Celebrate. What's this little stamp? Those ice cubes sure are cute. Let's Celebrate. Boy, I better not lose any of these stamps. I'm sticking them on top of some other stamps there. Okay, so Cheers and Let's Celebrate is in Old Olive. Get my head right over there. Okay, Cheers, Let's Celebrate. Okay, now there is a glass. It's very faint, and they did it in cloud cover, sort of like to mimic, you know, a glass. Cloud cover is a good color. So I need, let's just put these here. I need to clean the glass. Okay, so we've got the glass right here in cloud cover. So this was, I don't know why, because it was working fine for me. I don't know about you guys, cloud cover. The demonstrators had a chance to purchase it, but customers cannot. But I've been advising customers to buy the uninked pad, the basic white uninked pad, and then getting the reinker. If the reinker is still available. I know it was available for a short amount of time. Okay, so there's the glass, and then Old Olive I need again, and Berry Burst, and I'm going to do the leaves and the sprig. So here's the sprig. So we're going to do, oh no, not that sprig, wrong one. Wrong sprig. I want, we're going to use that. That is lavender. I'm pretty sure that's lavender. Here's the sprig I want. The leaves, yes. Okay, so we're going to do the leaves in Old Olive. And they're just coming out of the glass at the top. Okay, and then I'm going to do the sprig. In the Berry Burst. And that's going to go in like that. Okay. So this is some really simple stamping. This is a simple card. It's a card base, couple of layers of paper, and then your main focal image. And that's it. Okay, let's put this together. So card base, make sure it's opening up the right way. Then we're going to stick this on, and I'm going to skew it a bit. So let's grab our Tombow glue. Ooh, those two. You know, just when you say, oh, all Stampin' Up! Colors go with one another, I'm not sure that I like those two colors together. Timid Tiger and Berry Burst. Ooh, maybe not. Okay, I'm going to skew this a bit. Okay, I haven't skewed any papers in a long time. Then we're going to do this green. Look how gorgeous this paper is. Wow. Okay, and then this is going to go right on top. So fun when the card comes together. Okay, I want that green to show top and bottom. So I'm going to put that like that. Oh my goodness. All right, there's your second card. So, oh, there's a big glob of glue right there. How the heck did that happen? I'm having a glue issue tonight. I'll wait for that to dry and use my eraser again. What do you think? Should I put some gemstones on here or not? You know what? I could put them inside the glass as if they are little, have either of you ever had bubble tea? It doesn't appeal to me because I don't know what those bubble things are made out of. I don't know if it's Jello or gelatin or what it is, but what do you guys think? Should I put a couple of these things on here? It needs something. I think I'm going to do it, but where I'm going to do it? I think I might put one inside the glass. As if there's, I don't know, little ice cubes maybe? I don't know. What the heck? Never hurts to put little embellishments on. There we go. It just adds a little extra something, right? I'm kind of tempted to color these leaves in, but I don't have my markers here with me. But I might color those leaves in. All right, ladies. There's your 2 cards for Case the Catty tonight. What do you think? I think they're really pretty. It's really amazing, you know, when you look at the card in the catalog. And I think it's amazing when you look at the card in the catalog and how it comes to life when you actually make the card. Right? I'm really happy with the way those turned out. I hope you enjoyed tonight. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Gina. Have a good rest of your evening. And I will be back tomorrow morning for a Funfold Friday. So if you catch me, great. Otherwise, you can watch the replay. So thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting me. And yeah, that's it. That's it from me to you. Bye for now.